Now that we have a room, if you want to get and start filling in some more details with more sophisticated items, let's begin with creating a pillow. Let's go to Create, Polygon, Cube, and there's, whoa, giant pillow. Let's hit F. All right, let's size it down to what a pillow should be. But this time we're going to go beyond a simple primitive. We're going to make our first steps into having a little more control of our sculpture or items or objects. So here is approximately a good pillow size. So first thing I want to do is I want to go here to our attributes. And one of the attributes that we have on our objects is how many vertices it has. You can see these dots here are vertices. You remember if we go to this component mode, you'll see these dots. These are vertices. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we can add more. I'm going to go to object mode. And to have more, we go to this area right here where it says polycube 3. Not here. You see nothing there. Nothing there. But here you see, oh, I have subdivision width, subdivision height, subdivision depth. And I can increase this. You can see I have more resolution to be able to model it. Because without those, kind of like in Illustrator, you only have that point. You can't bend it here because there's no vertex there to bend. But if I go and add some, I'm going back to my object mode. Now you have to do this in the beginning because depending on how you model your piece, it might start causing issues if you try to add divisions after the fact. So I think that's all I need for a nice soft pillow. Maybe I'll add some here. So we can go to component mode and we can use these dots to start shaping our pillow. So for example, I can click on this dot, shift select that dot, shift select that dot, shift select that one, and that one. I can bring all these down. Or of course I can do these dots and bring them down all together so that it keeps things symmetrical. So pillows of course also are curved in the front, so I can, sometimes in 3D you have to kind of be careful where you're looking at. You have to move the pillow somewhere else and then, okay. So here now I have a nice little kind of soft contour. Maybe I'll bring the corners down a little bit more. And bring it down. And maybe here at the bottom I'll just kind of bring it up a little bit. You know, of course we can go a lot crazier, but if this is your intro, let's keep it somewhat simple. So 1, 2, 3. I can pull this out and down. 1, 2, 3. Pull this out and down. So we're starting to get a little bit more organic pillow. I'm going to undo those just to show you one more way you could have done that. You could have grabbed those 3 vertices and these. And well, if I go this way to pull those out, well, I pulled those in, which is not what I want. So how can I make them both pull out together outwards? Well, you can use the scale tool, and if you scale those, you can see I could scale them open. So that's a way you can symmetrically increase the size of those. And there you go. We got a nice little pillow. Again, we'll bring this up a little bit forward too. And a little softer, a little more comfy than that square. I can go back to object mode. I can, if I'm doing an old school video game, this might be plenty. For those maybe older of us, used to play soccer games with a ball that looked like that really had sharp edges, and now your soccer games are really smooth and are nice spherical. Before I show you one more thing, I see here this little corner doesn't look that great, so I'm going to go back to component mode and grab those 2 and suck them in a little bit like that. Yeah, that looks a little nicer. Okay, so go back to object mode. So here there's some tools up here. Of course, there's way too many tools to cover in a 2-week lesson. But one important one here under mesh, because these are considered meshes, is a smooth mesh. And if I click on that, you can see it adds more vertices while at the same time smoothing it out. Okay? And most 3D programs, Blender, Fusion, Maya, 3ds Max, will have some kind of smooth option. Of course, you do this at the end, because if you want to do any manipulation, now you have too many vertices to deal with. So you can deal with it here, and then when you're really happy, you'll smooth it out. Okay? Hopefully you can take that lesson with the pillow and go a little crazier. I'll do one more thing, and then I'll leave it at that. Let's create a nice little vase. So I'm going to not use a square this time. Use a cylinder as my structure. Size it down. Hiding on the table, that's okay. You can hit 4, remember, and that will show you wireframe mode if it hides too much. That vase is way too small, so I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to scale it in all directions, and then I can make it taller or squattier. Let's go ahead and do that. Now remember, I only have some vertices up here and down here, so I can't give it a nice oval shape. I'm limited to, I scale this open to something like that, very simple. But if I want to give it a little bit more form, I'm going to need to add some more segments. So I'm going to go here back to my attribute editor, poly cylinder. There's my subdivision. I can simplify this way. Because our use will be a pre-rendered graphic, you can go as crazy as you want. If this was what is called real-time rendering, where it's an actual 3D object in a game, then we have to be careful that we don't go too crazy with the vertex count. Too many polygons. So I only need a few, and I don't need any caps. Maybe I will do some caps and show you one more thing after I shape this face. So let's add a few caps. Right now, see, this is no caps, but let's add some more like that. That's all I need. Alrighty, so let's give this a little shape. So a few things you can do is, of course, you can do vertices. Grab all those vertices and make them thick. Grab the move tool and move them higher or lower, depending on what kind of vase you want. Remember, you can grab all of these, and that will grab the ones behind too, and bring them all down. Okay, so you got a nice vase there. Let's give it a nice neck. Let's scale those down in all the same dimension. There we go. Okay. Now, the reason I did these the extra thing I want to show you is that right now we've been dealing with vertices, but you can right-click. You got to hold it. If you don't hold it long enough, it will disappear. But you hold it long enough. This is how we added a new material. Up here, you also can grab in vertex mode, which is what we're in, but you can also grab edge mode or face mode. Grab edge mode, you can grab this edge and do everything we've done with the vertices, but to a whole edge. Okay. Now, up here, I don't want to deal with edges. I want to deal with all these faces and push them down to create a hole. So I'm going to right-click and go to face mode. And you see here I can grab face, 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 face. And I'm right now shift selecting, although there are shortcuts to grab all these all at once. For now, let's not get into that too much. Alright. Oops. Hit F. And it'll zoom in on only my selection, which is really nice. So you see I have all those faces. Now, if I pull them down now, it creates a very sharp-edged vase, which is fine. It looks nice. It's great. However, if we want to be a little more realistic, or we actually want to 3D print this, if we do this 3D print is going to have issues at the edge, because that edge is really razor thin, and it will kind of start crumbling even in a 3D printer, if the 3D printer succeeds in even trying to attempt that. So if we want an edge, let's give it an edge. Let's grab the scale tool and let's give it that much of an edge. That's fine. But then we want to push all of this down. Again, right now, it would still create that thin top, and I don't want that. I want to grab all these pieces and just push them down while leaving these unselected pieces where they are. That process is called extrusion or extrude, and that would be here under Edit Mesh, Extrude. You click on that. Now when you grab the Move tool and you push down, look what it does. You see how it doesn't mess with the... It made an extra edge right there, you see? And so you can bring it down. Now if we go too crazy, right, that's straight down while it's going through the vase. So what do? We go down, but then we can scale it in. Okay. And we can go down more. And what's that look like? Well, that looks like this, right? It's a wireframe. Yeah, you see? So here, that would cause it to go outside, which of course would be bad visually, but also, again, if we have a 3D print this would cause the printer to be confused. So we always want to be conscious of keeping our thickness correct. And so if we do want to go deeper, we either can scale it down more, but what if you're like, no, I want to use this for real. I want it to scale down here, and then I want it to scale back up. Well, in that case, you can do that. You can scale this here a little bit more so that the wall thickness is more or less the same. And then we go to Edit Mesh, and we extrude again. And now when we extrude again, you see it's leaving that. You see it left that curve, that edge, and lets you go down farther. Now again, you don't want to go through the floor, or else you'll have again issues. But you can now go to wire number 4, go a little deep there, and now you can scale that. And we'll do extrude one more time if you really wanted it to be like a real ceramic vase, where it goes even deeper, but it caves in. Let's see if we can look through here and see it. We can kind of see it. We can kind of see the curvature inside. We, of course, have wireframe mode, which is a little confusing. So we also have under shading X-ray mode. Click on X-ray, and it kind of is somewhat transparent. So you can kind of see a little bit. Let's go to object mode here and hit F. You can see a little bit of the translucence and thickness of the object. And lastly, of course, if you like your vase, but you want to give it a little more smoothness to make it look more like ceramics, well, we go to Mesh, Smooth, Mesh, Smooth, and of course, now we have a piece that looks a little more ceramic-like. And again, this is 3D printable if you take it to the right place. Again, you'll just have to be careful. Up here, it looks like my edge is getting thin again. I don't like that, so I'm gonna smooth that out a little too much. So I'm just gonna repair that by bringing it down and scale it down. So now there's an actual thick lip that won't cause any issues. Hope you can have fun with those tools, and I look forward to seeing what you make.